Hi Leo, welcome to The Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to look at January for you guys. General reading for January. Take what resonates, leave what does not. You can use this for your sun, moon, or rising. This is for Leo. So I did a Celtic cross spread for the month of January plus an oracle card that I got for my birthday. I mean, right off the bat, I just want to say wow. Very scorpionic energy, very transformative, kind of dealing with life and rebirth, life and death themes. And it's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of, I think there's a lot you could do with this energy and it really depends on you. But let's just get into this and see what comes through. So, your theme for this month, I pulled an oracle deck to kind of tie it all together, an oracle card, sorry. So I pulled the Underworld. It came out in the reverse. Again, like very Scorpio, transformation, life and death. I like this in the reversal for you because I feel like this does not feel like the dark night of the soul energy, but it feels like a return to your dark night of the soul. And I don't mean that in the sense of like you'll be back in it or you'll be in that at all. In fact, the energy feels very, very positive. It kind of feels like you're going back just to memories of times in your life where you really didn't have it together, where you were really struggling. It could be mental, it could be, medical, physical. It could even be spiritual. It could be a time where you felt really, really lost, or really broken down, like you didn't know who you are. Like, yeah, the dark night of the soul journey. It feels like that has already happened. And it may have been some years ago in your past, maybe. I think that kind of depends on you. Yeah, because I'm seeing many different timelines in my mind, so I think all of you are kind of in a different place, or you had this moment at a slightly different time. But you're revisiting those memories from where you are now, and so it's not like you're in the energy itself. Like you're ascended to a certain extent. You are where you are, and it feels like a vibrant place. And that's why you're able to go into the past and reflect on it differently. I think this is an opportunity really to rewrite your story. Like looking back on your past traumas, maybe some of you are just doing trauma work this month. Past traumas or past experiences that I think that maybe you've gotten some perspective on or healed from to a certain extent. But this is about real closure, Leo. I really feel it. I feel your ability this month to look at your past from a different perspective, from kind of a holistic view of, everything that wasn't working or everything that was really, really difficult or challenging or painful, with the perspective you have now, and you're able to understand or figure out, if you don't have that understanding yet, you can work with that this month, to gain understanding of why things shaked out the way they did, why you went through what you did, the gifts that were given through those struggles, the wisdom that was gained, and then the ability to actually close it out, let go, and move on so that you don't have to keep looking back in ways that don't feel beneficial. And so I think you have high potential this month to really fully heal from the past. It may not be everything, because that's a big thing to say, right? But maybe it's just a really particular event that you've been trying to recover from for a long time, or whatever comes up for you this month about the past, a specific time, a specific event, a specific pattern maybe that you're dealing with, like if it's a depressive pattern or anxiety or something like that, or some sort of mental pattern that you're trying to recover from. In that sense, this is a really good month to unwind all that and come into better alignment with who you are and let go. So this feels really, really good. This is about higher perspective and rewriting your story, so you can heal and move on, essentially. So that's a beautiful start. Going into the Celtic Cross, at the heart, we have the Justice card reversed. Yeah, again, this is looking back. I feel like this isn't your current situation. Like, this isn't, lack of justice now. This is looking at the past, things that were really unfair, things that didn't make sense to you at the time. It just kind of became this why is this happening to me kind of thing. Things that you attempted maybe to do in your life that didn't work out. This could be relationships that didn't work out. This could be careers that didn't work out. This could just be a really hard childhood, being dealt a shitty hand in terms of what happened in your early life that impacted who you are now. Those kinds of things. You're really taking a look at that. And I think what's beautiful about this energy is the ability to say, yeah, that wasn't fair. Like, the things that happened to you in regards to this situation just were not fair. They were not just. And I think coming to that realization that things weren't fair to you, I think it will allow you to heal, because it will take you out of this story of like, oh, it's all my fault, or I brought this on myself, or I'm bad and that's why these things happened. Like, anything that kind of sheds a negative light on you and your self-concept and who you feel like you are as a person, to you, the way you treat yourself. I think that accepting that what happened in the past wasn't fair will help you rewrite your story, because it takes the focus off of you bringing something on yourself and coming to the realization that bad things happened. It sucks that you have no control over those things, especially when you're little. But it says nothing about who you are as a person or what you deserve. And so I think from there, you'll be able to let more positive things into your life, because you'll be able to receive them and say, yes, I deserve this. So that's the potential here. Challenging that energy. We have the Eight of Cups and the Tower. Let's look at the Eight of Cups first. This is moving on. The Eight of Cups energy is also kind of a looking at your past energy sometimes, but it's moving on from your past. To gain a higher perspective, you can see this person walking away from these Eight Cups, and he's like going towards this mountain here. This feels really good. The Eight of Cups energy is not always, well, I wouldn't say it's unsupportive, but it's not always fun. I'm feeling a cleaner energy with this Eight of Cups, because this is dealing with the past and moving on specifically, that this energy is actually really supportive in the theme that you're dealing with. And so this is going to be a resource for you, this ability to walk away. There's a sobriety to the Eight of Cups in terms of accepting the pain of the past and accepting that you were hurt, which is a vulnerable thing to do, I think. I think it's easy for some of us to just say, no, that the past didn't affect me. I refuse to accept that, because we don't want to be a victim. And so the Eight of Cups is sobering in the sense that it's the acceptance of, yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I didn't have control. And the reality of that is sobering, because if you can look at your pain in that way, while I think the anticipation of accepting that you're in pain can be really scary, I think the reality of it is very releasing, because the worst part about pain is the avoidance of it. It kind of perpetuates the pain, because you can't truly avoid it. It's kind of like you just shove it into the subconscious, and it works in subconscious ways instead of conscious. And so if you can make that pain of the past conscious, it stops having control over you, because you've taken it out of the subconscious mind, so that you can actually look at it, understand it, and that gives you the context to rewrite your story. So I think this is going to be really, really good for you. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel sobering, which is going to make you feel more grounded in your body, and I think that's going to really help you. This Eight of Cups paired with the Tower. I'm actually going to read it in the reverse, because that's how it feels to me. Yeah, again, this Tower has already happened. This isn't new. The entire year has obviously been a bit of a Tower year. You're coming into 2021 still writing that. So this is not like abrupt, instant change or transformation or death. I wouldn't worry about something in your external life happening this month. I think you're going to be fine. I think this is purely internal for the most part. And maybe you just have a quiet January, which is what allows you to do this work. It's going to support that, which it being yin time, I think for those of us in the northern hemisphere, it being yin time, I think that's really a good way to align with the cosmic energy around right now. And so, yes, this is rebirth. This is rebirth. It really does mirror the underworld reverse. These are kind of the same energies. Paired with the Eight of Cups, it's moving away so that you can be reborn. This is the light coming out after the tower walls have been dismantled. So the tower being all of your limiting beliefs, all of the things that you haven't quite made sense of or resolved that are kind of getting in the way of you really being radiant and open and ready to take on life. It's kind of like you're just taking down all those walls to release yourself from the entrapment that you're experiencing. The Eight of Cups really supports that as a pair. It just means you're moving away from the past. You're letting it go. And that's beautiful. This is a really beautiful reading. I actually forgot to pull a card. I'm just realizing I do it all the time with that placement. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, month of January, new circumstance. It's a full spread here. Okay. Deep past affecting the present. We have the Five of Wands reversed. This is a Leo energy. I believe it's maybe it's Mars Leo, maybe it's Saturn. Again, a lot of Martian energy, clearly. Yeah, so this energy represents kind of all the ways that you've beat on yourself in the past. The reversal is just, it's Five of Wands tends to represent fight or conflict, and in the reverse, it's like conflict with self. And so these could be kind of different beliefs, contradictory beliefs, or just a bunch of negative self-talk, a bunch of different stories that you're kind of using to beat yourself with. This is a habit pattern of the past, just all the ways that voice in your head tells you that you're not good enough, that no one likes you, that shames you, that guilts you, that makes you feel small. Yeah, this is all of those stories that you are, I think, really unpeeling and looking at this month, so that you can dismantle them. The Tower reverse is kind of mirroring that. This is what you're telling yourself you don't want to do anymore. You don't want to hurt yourself anymore. You don't want to tell yourself you're not good enough, that people don't like you, that you're not worthy, that you're not deserving. Yeah, whatever that self in your head tells you about yourself that doesn't feel good, that's what you're looking at, and that's what you're looking to kind of strip away, because you're done with that story, or these stories, basically. You want to support yourself, you want to care for yourself, you want to attract better things into your life, and this is the path. This is the way forward, is really taking a critical and observational look at those stories and figuring out why they're there, getting into the past, the root of the story, and removing it at the root so that it doesn't affect you anymore, so that these voices start to disappear, or at the very least so that you stop listening to them or believing their lies, because they're lies, essentially, Leo. So beautiful. And your foundation this month, this is beautiful. We have the Nine of Pentacles. This is saying, look at what you've already grown. Look at all the ways that you've already pulled yourself out of the dark times you've experienced in the past. Look at all the ways that you've planted seeds and watered them and nurtured them and watched them grow. Look at all the ways that you've created independence for yourself, that you have nourished yourself, taken care of yourself, and healed yourself already. And so it's like, well, there's more work to do. What is going to ground you and kind of set the foundation for you this month is making sure that you're giving yourself credit for all the work that you've already done. You know, you're here for a reason. You're here because you're ready to deal with this. And getting to that place takes work as well. So you've already built the foundation for yourself, Leo. So you can lean on that, because the things that support you in your life will continue to support you through all this transformational work that you're doing this month, okay? Crowning you this month, we have the Page of Cups. This is some sort of offer, maybe. This could be an offer from the universe because it's in your crown. It could be an offer of love, or compassion, or an extension of connection of some type. So that could mean love. That could also mean friendship. That could also mean like a good therapist, or spiritual advisor, or somebody in your life that helps you gain perspective. It could be that. It could also, if it's not like a human being, it could be from the universe. This could be helping spirits coming into your life, or the universe giving you some sort of gift, or extending an offering of connection to you. So if you do spiritual work, be on the lookout for signs from the spirit world that they're trying to connect with you. Yeah, for one or a few of you, this just may be a helping spirit, like a new helping spirit in particular, that's going to guide you through this transformational process this month. Could be a Pisces as well. If it's a person, it could be a Pisces coming into your life that is able to support you or offer love in a new way. Doesn't necessarily mean romance, although it can. But yeah, I think for many of you, it's just a helping spirit. So just be on the lookout for who that person is, or who that spirit is. It definitely feels like a being in particular. Like, it could just be information, like some sort of information download or offer or opportunity, but I really do think it's either a person or a spirit, like one being in particular, that's going to guide you through this. New circumstance, we have the King of Swords reversed. The offering here is to get out of your head and into your body. I think a lot of what you're gonna do this month, if you have the resources, is gonna be a lot of rewiring in your body and your energy field. And so kind of the message I'm getting is that the mind's not gonna be very helpful. Even when you're kind of dealing with the negative aspects of the mind, the negative self-talk, it's kind of like you need to make sure that you're approaching those stories from the heart, and you're like centered in the heart when you're listening to these stories, so that you're not just battling negative self-talk with positive affirmation, without being rooted in the body, because all that's going to do is just going to make your mind spin, and then it's just going to be positive thoughts fighting negative thoughts for control, and that's not going to help you. So what's important about this new circumstance is a new approach. Instead of trying to battle your negative thoughts with positive ones, not that that's a problem if you're rooted in your body, but if you're not, you're just going to spin. So this is inviting you to get into your body. So I think the recommendation here is I would meditate. I would specifically focus on maybe mindfulness meditation, which is just about focusing on your breath, and it's not about fighting thoughts, but it's about allowing thoughts to come with patience and then coming back to the breath when you remember. So it's kind of gently rewiring or reconditioning the mind to calm down. Because when you're focusing on your breath, you can't think. Try to focus on breathing and allow thoughts to occur at the same time. You really can't. You can only focus on one thing at a time. So it just gets you out of your mind and into your body when you can do that. Another good thing you can do is connect with the earth, connect with the core of the earth, bring earth energy into your body. That will help you as well. Because the best way to utilize all this energy is to do like psychosomatic rewiring, where you're actually eliminating the trauma stories in your nervous system that goes all the way down your spine and into your body, which that's where we store trauma. We store it in our bodies, not our minds. Our mind creates a story and it's connected, but it's like if you can drop the story itself and just focus on the energy, then you are moving an old emotion through your body and you actually resolve. I think what ends up happening for most of us is the brain tries to resolve it on its own, but it can't. It gets stuck in a loop because it's an emotional issue at its core. So drop into your body so that you can really sink into the sensation, the emotion, and try to ignore the stories that are being generated in the mind based on those. Just cut to the chase, basically, which is getting to the source of the problem, which is emotional, not logical, right? Your energy this month, 4 of Cups reversed. Guard your secrets this month. We have the Four of Pentacles as well, and we'll talk about that. I feel like you guys may be in a very vulnerable place this month because of the work that you're doing, which is great. The only thing that I would recommend, and I think you're already there because this is your energy for the month, is not spilling all of your. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I think that's a vacuum upstairs. I lost my train of thought. Just careful who you confide in. Don't spill your secrets to every single person that you come in contact with, and I don't mean secrets like secrets. I just mean your vulnerabilities, the painful emotions that you may be experiencing, or the profound emotions that you may be experiencing. The stuff that is really, really heart-based and important for your healing. It's just when you're in a transformational process, it's kind of like you're in the old and in the new at the same time, and it can feel just a little bit discombobulating, which is why it's important to ground and sink into your body this month as well, because transformation is just messy. I think of, when a caterpillar goes into a cocoon, they literally become liquid before they turn into a butterfly. And so the messiness of transformation is like being the liquid in the cocoon. What's important for that is, in order for the transformation to take place, you need to be in a cocoon, which means you need to be protected. So call on the universe for protection, ask for protection, call on the earth for protection, make sure that you're in your body. And that's going to be the safety anchor that you need in order to get through this transformational process, because if not, what ends up happening is you just fall back out of it and nothing changes. And if you want real change to occur, you need to let the transformational process actually finish its full cycle, right? So here it's just kind of like making sure that you don't tell your vulnerabilities to somebody that's not going to honor them. Whether it's lack of confidentiality, like they tell other people your shit, or they're the type of person that would do that because they don't understand why that's not okay. It's not a malicious thing. It's just like some people just don't understand what they're saying when they say things to people. So like watch out for that kind of person. Just choose your people carefully. You're gonna need support, so I think it is important to lean on some people, or at least one person, even if it's just this Page of Cups person. But the rest don't need to know what you're doing. If you feel like you need to share, just make sure that you're sharing very carefully, okay? Environmental energy this month, we have the Queen of Swords reversed and the Temperance card. The Temperance card is going to be really supportive. Let's start with the Queen of Swords reversed, though. This could be, mirroring the Four of Cups here, this could be someone in your life that just doesn't understand what you're doing and they don't agree. And they try to belittle your situation. And so just watch out for that person. For instance, if you're doing any kind of like spiritual healing work, this could be a person that just doesn't believe in that, like somebody who's super skeptical. This could even be a therapist, like a therapist who's just not into the woo-woo stuff and is like, what you're doing is not going to work, or whatever. It could be that. This is somebody that's just naysaying because what you're doing may not fit their worldview, or they may just be battling their own insecurities and they're not in tune with themselves the way that you are right now. And so for them, their perspective may be that you are doing something that's pointless, doing something that's not going to work. Something else that I'm trying to feel into. Or they just don't understand the significance of what you're doing, like the weight. They don't understand that, like, this could just be somebody that's very harsh or tactless with their language, and they kind of poke at you or trigger you or prod you based on offhand comments that they make. Like, maybe even if you don't confide in this person, it's like they have a way of just getting to that spot that feels really vulnerable right now, especially because of what you're going through. And so just try to protect yourself and manage your emotions when this person comes up for you. and try not to let them get to you too much, or if they do get to you, use it as a healing moment to kind of go back into yourself and move through. They could just be reflecting your negative self-talk, right? And so the challenge here is make sure that you don't believe them. Make sure that you use it as information for what you want to change in yourself. Not like change as in you need to change yourself, but change as in the negative self-talk, like the stories that get in your way of your healing, the things that hurt you, changing those stories within yourself. So if somebody's reflecting those stories back to you, it's a great opportunity to sink into the work, but also make sure that you're protecting yourself. Don't confide in a person who's just going to naysay what you're doing. Paired with the temperance energy, this is really supportive. This reflects the transformational process in a way, because it's basically alchemy. So it's a blending of two different energies, seeming opposites, that creates this kind of third energy. It's alchemy. It's also very protective. Temperance always says that there's helping spirits around you, people protecting you, egging you on in the background. And so there's that. I think that's what's important to lean on is if you have somebody who isn't in your corner, try not to focus on it. Try to remember who is in your corner, because there are people in your corner, whether they're invisible beings or people. You are being guided, you're being protected, okay? So make sure that you tap into that energy. If you're working with people or helping spirits, again, this Page of Cups energy, if it's a particular person, this person or this being, the spirit, is an expert at transformation. And so what they can do with this temperance energy is make it easier for you to transform. Like basically they're holding a container for you, like the cocoon, essentially, that is softening the edges of the transformational process so it feels more grounded. It doesn't feel so shaky or so disparate. This is kind of, they are blending energies for you in the background in a way that allows you to move through this process with more ease and harmony and fluidity. So, I mean, it's like, you know, if you're working with Scorpion, for instance, if that's the spirit you're working with, it's like Scorpion is an expert at transformation. If you're working with Snake, they're an expert at transformation. If you're working with a person who has Scorpio placements, but they don't necessarily have to be Scorpio, like anybody could be an expert at transformation. They could be a Plutonian, you know. Somebody who's just done this work before and they're a master of transformation, they know how it goes, they understand, they are holding the cocoon or the container for you so that you can be liquid and still be put together, basically. So you have a lot of support from very skilled beings. Hopes and fears this month. King of Cups, I love this. This is the potential this month. I think you're really hoping to step into this King of Cups energy, which is somebody who is a master of their emotions, is not afraid of any of their emotions, wields their emotions skillfully, and uses it to connect with others with intent, with compassion, but with a sense of direction. King of Cups is like that ultimate king in terms of he has all the decision-making power of a king, and all the compassion, sensitivity, receptivity, fluidity of, I guess, something you don't really see in a king generally. Like I feel like the king archetype is very what's the word I'm looking for? Iron-fisted and combative and stoic and forceful. And the King of Cups is like all the leadership of a king with none of the hard edges. It's just all compassion, all sensitivity, emotional intelligence. Basically, I don't want to use the word femininity because I just don't think masculine, feminine is split that way. I think it's a gross misunderstanding of the feminine and the masculine, but I guess just the femininity or the yin aspect of rulership. So it's like the king that's in dynamic balance because his inner queen is is in control too. Again, it's kind of like the Temperance card. It's like this perfect blend of masculine and feminine qualities. As commanding as he is receptive, as emotional as he is intelligent. Yeah, he really is kind of the ideal king in a lot of ways. So I think this is what you're going for. This is the path. This is who you're trying to become through this process. Somebody who has mastery of their emotions and also mastery of their lives, authority. It's paired with the Four of Pentacles reversed. This is kind of more your fear. And it's in conflict with the King of Cups desire, because the Four of Pentacles is fear of vulnerability, keeping things really close to your heart. Obviously, mirroring this Four of Cups, it may be what you need to do with certain people, but it can't be what you do for yourself. Like, you have to be able to be honest with yourself, with your own emotions, with your own vulnerabilities, and through that process of honesty, gain more intimacy with yourself. I think this Four of Pentacles fear maybe keeping you out of intimacy with yourself because you're afraid to connect with your heart, because your heart is holding all this grief based on what's happened in the past. And so I think the fear is opening that can of worms, right? And maybe experiencing emotions that you feel like you can't handle or whatever. I think the important thing to keep in mind here is that you're going through this process. The energy is here supporting this process, which means that you are ready, and it's not going to be as bad as you think. Again, Eight of Wands, like, the anticipation is worse than the reality. So what this is inviting you to do is to start to crack open that vault that you keep as kind of like a barrier between you and your heart, and start to get more intimately familiar with your heart and the emotions that are there. And then this is also just about being vulnerable with the right people, like being vulnerable with a really good therapist or whoever you're working with, whoever this Page of Cups person is, whether they're a lover, a therapist, some sort of spiritual worker, healer, a friend, or a spirit, This is asking you to at least be vulnerable with them. But I'm getting a heavier hit on yourself, because this King of Cups is about you. This is about who you want to be, and the way to get there is to break this energy apart, this energy that's keeping you out of intimacy with yourself and your own heart, okay? And then the outcome this month, we have the Hermit. This is illumination. You're going to close out this month. You may even close out a cycle. It may not be like the full cycle of transformation, but you're going to close out at least like one phase of this by the end of the month, because the Hermit is settling into his own energy, into his body. This particular emphasis on the lamp here, which is illumination. So you're going to have some sort of deep realization this month that allows you to come into your wisdom in your own way. Another nice thing about the Hermit is they are self-reliant in terms of what they know, like their knowledge, their wisdom. And so you'll be coming into that energy where you feel like you can trust yourself more, probably because you opened your heart to yourself. You opened up to your own heart. So your heart trusts you more by the end of the month. You can trust yourself more, your own feelings, your own imagination, your own wisdom, and lean on that energy instead of trying to get it from other people. I think that is how you're going to end this month. Some sort of realization that puts you on top of the mountain again. And really beautiful work. Really beautiful. I think that's all I have for you guys. If you would like to schedule something with me, please do so in the box below. We can talk about how these energies are playing out in your situation. Hit like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see the next Leo video in February. I hope you guys have a great new year. I love you guys. And leave a comment if you'd like to share more about your personal experience. I'm sure we would love to hear it. So thank you. See you guys later.